always said of the emperor, he's in his wardrobe. There was plenty of fun going on in the city where the emperor lived. Strangers were continually arriving, and one day there came two swindlers. They made out that they were weavers and could weave the very finest stuffs imaginable. Not only were colours and design unusually attractive, but the clothes made from their material had the peculiarity of being invisible to anyone who wasn't fit for his post or who was hopelessly stupid. I say, they must be wonderful clothes, thought the emperor. If I had some, I could find out which of my statesmen were unfit for their posts, and also be able to tell the clever ones from the stupid. Yes, I must have some of that stuff woven for me at once. And he paid down a large sum of money to the swindlers straight away, so as to enable them to start work. And they did. They put up a couple of looms and pretended to be working, although there was absolutely nothing in the loom. They coolly demanded the most delicate silk and the finest gold thread, which they promptly stowed away in their own bags, and then they went on working far into the night at their empty looms. Well now, I wonder how they are getting on with the work, said the emperor to himself. But there was one point that really made him feel rather anxious, namely, that a man who was stupid or quite unfit for his post would never be able to see what was woven. Not that he need have any fears for himself. He was quite confident about that, but all the same it might be better to send someone else first to find out how things were going. Everyone in the city had heard of the mysterious power possessed by the material, and they were all eager to discover how incapable or stupid his neighbour was. I'll send my honest old Prime Minister to the weavers, thought the emperor. He's the best one to see what the stuff looks like, for he has plenty of sense, and nobody fills his post better than he does. So off went the honest old Premier to the workshop, where the two swindlers sat busy at their empty looms. Lord bless my soul, thought the minister with eyes starting out of his head. Why, I can't see anything. But he was careful not to say so. The two swindlers begged him to take a closer look. Didn't he find the colours and design most attractive? They then pointed to the empty loom, but although the poor old minister opened his eyes wider and wider, he couldn't see a thing, for there wasn't a thing to see. Good Lord, he thought, is it possible that I'm stupid? I never suspected that, and not a soul must hear of it. Can it be that I'm unfit for my post? No, it will never do for me to say that I can't see the material. Well, what do you think of it? Asked the one who pretended to be weaving. Oh, it's charming, quite exquisite, said the old minister, looking through his spectacles. What a pattern and what colouring! I shall certainly tell the emperor how pleased I am with it. Ah, we're glad to hear that, said the swindlers, and they then gave details of the colours and the peculiar design. The old minister listened carefully, so as to be able to repeat all this when he came back to the emperor, which he duly did. The swindlers now demanded more money, more silk, and more gold thread, first time in the grand procession that was shortly taking place. Magnificent, delightful, superb were the comments that ran from mouth to mouth. Everyone was so intensely pleased with it. On each of the swindlers the emperor bestowed a knighthood with a badge to wear in his buttonhole and the title of Imperial Weaver. On the eve of the procession, the swindlers sat up all night with something like 20 lighted candles. People could see how busy they were finishing off the emperor's new clothes. They pretended to take the stuff off the loom. They clipped away at the with huge scissors. They worked their needles without thread, and last they announced, "There, the emperor's clothes are ready." Then the emperor, with his most distinguished gentleman-in-waiting, went in person to the weavers, who each put out his arm, just as if he were holding something, and said, "Here are the breeches, here is the robe, here is the mantle," and so on. They are all as light as gossamer. You can hardly feel you have anything on. That's just the beauty of them. "Yes, indeed," answered the gentleman-in-waiting, but they couldn't see a thing, for there wasn't a thing to see. "Now, will your Imperial Majesty be graciously pleased to take off your clothes," said the swindlers. "Then we can fit you with new ones there in front of the big glass." So the emperor took off the clothes he was wearing, and the swindlers pretended to hand him each of the new garments they were supposed to have made, and they took him at the waist as if they were fastening something on. It was the train, and the emperor turned and twisted in front of the looking-glass. "Goodness, how well they suit you, Majesty! What a wonderful fit!" they all exclaimed. "What a cut! What colours! What sumptuous robes!" The master of ceremonies came in with an announcement. "The canopy to be carried above your Majesty in the procession is waiting outside." "All right, I'm ready," said the emperor. "Aren't they a nice fit?" And he turned around once more in front of the glass, for he really had to make them think he was gazing at his fine clothes. The chamberlains, who were to carry the train, groped about on the floor as if they were picking the train up, and as they walked they held out their hands, not daring shall soon see about that, thought the old queen. She didn't say anything, but she went into the bedroom, took off all the bedclothes, and placed a pea on the bottom of the bed. Then she took 20 mattresses and laid them on top of the pea, and then again 20 of the softest feather beds on top of the mattresses. That's where the princess had to sleep for the night. In the morning they asked her how she had slept. Oh, dreadfully. Dreadfully badly, said the princess. I hardly had a wink of sleep all night. Goodness knows what there was in the bed. I was lying on something so hard that I'm simply black and blue all over. It's perfectly dreadful. So then, of course, they could see that she really was a princess, because she had felt the pea right through the 20 mattresses and the 20 feather beds. Nobody but a real princess could have such a tender skin as that. And so the prince took her to wife, because now he knew that he had a proper princess, and the pea was sent to the museum, where it is still to be seen, unless someone has taken it. There, that's something like a story, isn't it? And now I'm going to read to you The Swineherd. Once upon a time there was a prince who hadn't much money, but he had a kingdom, and though this was quite small, it was large enough to marry on, and marry he would. Still, it was really rather bold of him to say straight out to the emperor's daughter, "Will you have me?" But sure enough, he did, for his name was famous everywhere, and there were hundreds of princesses who would only too gladly have taken him. But do you think she did? Well, now just listen. Growing on the grave of the prince's father was a rose tree. Oh, such a lovely rose tree. It only flowered every 5 years, and even then had but one solitary bloom. But this rose smelt so sweet that it made you forget all your cares and troubles. And the prince also had a nightingale that could sing, just as if it had all the loveliest tunes hidden away in its little throat. The princess should have both the rose and nightingale, he said, and so they were placed in big silver caskets and sent to her. The emperor had them brought before him in the great hall, where the princess was playing visitors with her maids of honour. They never did anything else, and when she saw the big caskets with the presents inside, she clapped her hands with glee. "I do hope it's a pussycat," she said, but then out came the lovely rose. "Oh, isn't it pretty?" cried all the maids of honour. "It's more than pretty," said the emperor. "It's handsome." But when the princess touched it, she nearly burst into tears. "Oh, papa, what a shame," she cried. "It's not artificial, it's real." "Come, let's first see what's in the other casket before we get annoyed," suggested the emperor. And then out came the nightingale. Its singing was so lovely that for the moment there wasn't a thing that could be said against it. "Superbe! Charmant!" exclaimed the maids of honour, for they all talked French, the one worse than the other. "How the bird reminds me of Her late Majesty's musical box," said an old courtier. "Dear me, yes, exactly the same tone, the same expression." "So it is," said the emperor, and he cried like a child. "All the same, I can't believe that it's real," said the course, that was something quite different from a rose. Presently, the princess came strolling along with all her court ladies, and when she heard the music, she stopped, looking so delighted, for she too could play "Ah, my dear Augustine." It was the only tune she knew, and she played it with one finger. "Why, that's my tune," she said. "This big man must be a man of taste. Look here, go in and ask him how much he wants for the instrument." So one of the court ladies had to run in and see him, but she put on her clogs first. "How much do you want for that pot?" she asked. "I want 10 kisses from the princess," answered the big man. "Goodness gracious," said the maid of honour. "That's the price. I can't take less," said the big man. "Well, what does he say?" asked the princess. "I really can't repeat it," said the maid of honour. "It's too dreadful." "Well, then whisper it," and the maid of honour whispered it. "Oh, how rude he is," said the princess, and walked off at once. But when she had gone a little way, the bells began to tinkle so charmingly. "Ah, my dear Augustine, our dreams are all done, done, done." "Come," said the princess, "ask him if he will take 10 kisses from my ladies in waiting." "No, thank you," said the big man. 10 kisses from the princess, or I stick to my pot." "How horribly annoying," said the princess. "Well, then you ladies will have to stand in front of me, so that no one can see." The court ladies went and stood in front of her, spreading out their dresses, and then the big man had his 10 kisses, and she got her pot. Goodness, what fun they had! Day and night the pot was kept on the boil. There wasn't a kitchen in the town where they didn't know what was being cooked, whether it was the mayor's or the shoemaker's. The maids of honour danced about, clapping their hands with glee. "We know who's going to have soup and pancakes, and we know who's going to have chops and jelly. It's so interesting." "Most interesting," observed the high stewardess. "Yes, but not a word to anyone, mind you, for I'm the emperor's daughter." "Oh dear, no," they all replied. "We shouldn't dream of it." The swineherd, that is to say the prince, but you see they didn't know but what he was a regular big man, couldn't let the day go by without making something. The next thing he made was a rattle. When you swung it around, it played all the waltzes and jigs and polkas that anybody had ever heard of. "Now that really is superb," said the princess as she was passing. "I've never heard anything lovelier. Look here, go in and ask him what he wants for that instrument, but mind, no kisses." "He wants 100 kisses from the princess," said the lady in waiting, who had been in to ask. "The fellow must be mad," said the princess, and began to walk off. But when she had gone a little way, she stopped. "Art must be encouraged," she said. "After all, I'm the emperor's daughter. Tell him he shall have 10 kisses like yesterday, and my ladies in waiting will give him the rest." "Oh, but we couldn't bear to do that," said the ladies. just as the young pigman was having his 86th kiss. "Out you get," said the emperor, for he was furious, and both the princess and Swineherd were turned out of his kingdom. "Look, there," she sat crying, while the swineherd scolded her, and the rain came down in torrents. "Poor me," said the princess, "if only I had accepted the handsome prince. Oh, I am so unhappy." The swineherd went behind a tree, wiped off the dirt from his face, threw away his old clothes, and now stepped forward in princely robes that were so magnificent that the princess couldn't help making a curtsy. "My dear, I've come to despise you," he said. "An honest prince you rejected. The rose and the nightingale were not to your taste, but the swineherd, you could kiss him for the sake of a musical box. Now you can have what you asked for." And with that he went into his kingdom, shut the door and bolted it, but she could stand outside if she cared to and sing, "Ah, my dear Augustine, our dreams are all done, done, done." And that ends the third story. This has been